we? Where are we? Wednesday. Whew, what a week it has been. Okay, getting Facebook all set up. Mandy, how are you? I see you're on mute. Totally get it if you are listening as the day goes on. Leah, how is your day today? How are we doing?
Oh, I think this topic is perfect for today. Today feels dense, but moving through all the things, just a really big to-do list and trying to get it all done.
I love it. I feel like that's kind of to your point, the general consensus, because I've had so many people just now be like, oh man, I really wanted to come to this. I need to come to this, but X, Y, and Z came up. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Will there be a recording? So for everyone who is watching this live, everyone who's watching this on YouTube, everyone who's watching this on LinkedIn or on Zoom directly, yes, there will be a recording. Yes, we will put that out there. So have no fear. But today, at Prowess Project on our live that we go live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central, we're talking all about taking imperfect action when it comes to your job hunt or when it comes to getting a new client, whatever that looks like. I love seeing this. Mandy, yes, I'm glad I made it. I just got a new mattress delivered. Love this. So for everyone who is out in the chat, question that I'm going to ask you, and just give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you identify as a perfectionist? Do you identify as a perfectionist?
Do recovering perfectionists count?
I love that one too. That's what I say that I am. So yes, that does count. All right, we're seeing in LinkedIn. I'm seeing lots of thumbs up in LinkedIn. Lots of thumbs up in LinkedIn. Love it, love it, love it. I think that's part of the hardest part, right? And this is what I was really excited to get things kicked off with today. Of course, what Prowess Project is, who I am. As a recap, I'm CEO of Prowess Project. Started this 3 years ago to help women go from home to hired, because oftentimes when women are out of the workforce, they are giving up 37% of their total compensation power forever. I thought that was absolutely absurd. So teamed up with the amazing Leah Steinkirk and built Prowess Project, where we are an online platform that helps with upskilling, coaching, networking. As you're going through that, we're gathering hundreds of data points on you so that we can match you up with the best jobs. So employers come to us, say, I'm looking for an X, Y, and Z, and we're able to give them the top 3 candidates, one of you all, each with a compatibility score. So everyone is matched based on, of course, the skills they can deliver, but also the culture match as well, or culture add as well. So back to what we're talking today, all about taking imperfect action. I asked, do you identify as being a perfectionist? I think oftentimes as women, and I'm not going to put all of my baggage on y'all, but this is something that I desperately feel. Growing up, I was encouraged to be perfect. I was encouraged to look a certain way, to say a certain thing, to get good grades, to not screw up, to not mess up, to not fail. And because of that, oftentimes I got in my head so much about starting in fear that if I did take an action, it would be incorrect and it would be something that I wouldn't be proud of, or my family wouldn't be proud of, or my teacher wouldn't be proud of, or my friends wouldn't be proud of. So I just stayed paralyzed. So give me some thumbs up in the group if anyone else can relate to that. I see some head nodding. I see more thumbs up. Exactly. I think that this happens a lot specifically to women about needing to be perfect and needing or feeling that way. And I honestly don't think it's anyone's fault. I think it is what society tells us we need to be doing We need to be seen, not heard type thing for such a long time. And I'm really glad that now in our society, that is no longer the case for women, and is a whole reason why with Prowess Project, we talk about this stuff all the time. So when it comes to creating your job search, we talk about taking imperfect action because you always need to be thinking progress over perfection. So write that down, progress over perfection. Why is that so important? I understand it makes you incredibly uncomfortable to put out that resume that doesn't have every I dotted, T crossed. I know it makes you incredibly uncomfortable putting out that website for your new freelance company that doesn't have all of the best pictures and the best lighting and the best copy out there. I totally get that. But think about all of that time that you are not utilizing when you are constantly picking at what you're going to put out there, and think about all the other people who have put out and put their hat in the ring during that time that you're waiting. So I'm going to say that again. Think about all the people who are putting their hat in the ring, that are launching their freelancing company, that are submitting for that job, who are posting on LinkedIn, who are adding people on LinkedIn, who are messaging for information interviews. Sure, they may not have the perfect copy. I am guilty of this myself, but they took the action. They are getting closer. Remember, progress over perfection. Progress over perfection. So another thing that I absolutely love that Leah made a great point about, when you're taking imperfect action, what are you truly doing? You are taking action so that you are learning. You're taking the action so that you are learning. You're learning what you do want. You're learning what you don't want. You're learning what works. You're learning what doesn't work. You're learning what didn't feel good. You're learning where your growths are, where your weaknesses are, where you need to really dive deeper so that you are, sorry, one second. So that you can become the best person or the best version of you that you want to be, so that you can put out there the best version that you want to be. So you have the skills, you can speak to experience when you're in an interview with a potential client or a potential hiring manager. You can speak to all these times that you have tried. They want to hear times that you've tried that maybe it wasn't comfortable, or they want to hear times that you've tried and you weren't expecting this big success, but it was a big success. What they don't want to hear and what they won't accept is I waited. They won't accept that I waited till it was absolutely perfect. I waited and invested, another 6 weeks in making sure that I had the perfect copy. They don't want to hear that. Because when you're thinking about utilizing that story in their day-to-day, in their business, they don't want you waiting around. They want you taking that action. They want to see the progress. They want you to make sure that you are moving in the right direction with their business, with their role, with their team. So what did we talk about? We talked about progress over perfection. All of that time that you are not working, someone else is getting out there in front of you. We also talked about anytime you make imperfect action, you are learning, you are stretching, you are growing, you're figuring out what feels good, what doesn't, where you need to learn more, and where you need to practice more. Learned all about that. We talked about being a perfectionist and how oftentimes women fall into that pressure of needing to feel that way, and how we really need to overcome that so that we can get out there and show the rest of the world what we can give and what we can do. And then also one thing I want to talk about in perfect action, because I see this being a very slippery slope for women specifically. So oftentimes when we're taking imperfect action, one thing that can sabotage us is confusing taking imperfect action with spinning your wheels. There is a difference between taking imperfect action along a plan that you have, listening to a mentor that you're consistently talking to, speaking with a mastermind where together you are all working on the same thing, and taking imperfect action and spinning your wheels. So think about it as your focus as the sun versus a laser. They're both light. They can both be the same amount of light. If you are the sun, you are warming the entire earth, which is super, super huge. And yes, it is offering something that's very good to the earth, right? Obviously, it's the warmth, it makes everything grow, but does it really do damage? Sure, if you don't wear that SPF, yes, right? But compared to a laser where you have all that same light really focused in to one thing, it can kill you instantaneously. It can slice through a car. It can slice through a diamond. Like, think about how focused and how quickly and how intense that damage can be. And I know I'm using the word damage, but replace the word damage for progress, for results, for purpose. And think about your confidence, or think about your focus in your action in that way. We don't want to be the sun. We don't want to be taking a lot of imperfect action that has no rhyme or reason. We want to be the laser. We want to be taking imperfect action. And yes, it doesn't need to be have all I's dotted, T's crossed, but it does need to be focused so that you are getting to the result that you want to be at. So does all of that make sense? Does all of that make sense on the focus, on the sun versus the laser? And taking the imperfect action and understanding how to take that imperfect action, especially when you have a plan, when you have a mentor, when you have a coach, when you have a template to walk through that tells you what to go do when. The copy doesn't need to be perfect. The outreach doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be the ideal time of the day. It does need to happen. It does need to have some thought. It does need to have some direction. It does all need to be pointing in the same place. So today, that's what we are talking about with imperfect action. Like I said at the very beginning, women, oftentimes we fall into that perfection trap, progress over perfection all day, every day. That's always going to win because you don't want to miss out on that job or that client. We talked about how perfection helps you pinpoint learnings and where your growth areas are, or where you really like and where your zone of genius is. And then lastly, we talked about imperfect action paired with focus and how important that is. So anything
throw one thing in?
Yes, please do.
Well, and what I think is so important about all this, and at Prowess, we talk about the 80-20 rule, like put your 80% best out there and 20% you're going to be learning. You can make it the next time, make it better, but also do this in the way that is organized and best serves your day, your life, be really, really focused for the time that you need to be, so that when you do want to decompress, you do want to be present with your family, you've done it, right? So yeah. I see, so like you were talking in the beginning, that people don't just start and get out there and do it, so that when you need the decompression, that you want to have the Saturday that you're doing nothing and have nothing on your schedule, you balance that because your energy was focused, and now your energy can be with your family or wherever else it needs to be.
You're so right, because oftentimes when I'm not focused and when I don't take that action and when I put things off, when I'm supposed to be present elsewhere, I have the worrying. I have that shame spiral of, why didn't I just get that email out? Why didn't I just launch that website? Why did I not just launch that, whatever it is? And instead, when I should be with my daughter, I'm shame spiraling, or I'm checking email, or I'm checking messages, instead of knowing I did everything that I could today and I got 80% there, 20% is okay, because I'm constantly a work in progress. I love that.
Well, you taught me the 80-20 rule, so you get to take care of that one.
And it doesn't always have to be 80-20. Sometimes, we're not having that type of day. Some days it's a 60-40 day, and that's perfectly fine.
Yes.
Perfectly fine. Well, thank you everyone for sticking in with us on this Wednesday, where we talked all about taking imperfect action on your job hunt. If you have any questions or want to learn more about Prowess Project, you can hit us up on @Prowess Project on all social channels, or join our job board at prowesstalent.io, or our full-on website, prowessproject.com. So again, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you took this away. And if you want more content like this, please follow us and share this with someone who could also use it. Thanks so much.